everyone, it's Catherine here from Budgeting My Way, and it's another cash envelope stuffing video for you. So both my husband and I had our salaries come through yesterday on the 13th. Today, been to the bank. We have spent some of the money already, so there's going to be a little bit of a weirdness going on. But I think I'm okay. I think I've understood what I've done. And now I'm ready to film a video. So I'm going to go through my husband's stuff first and stuff a couple of envelopes for that, and then I'm going to go through mine, which is a little bit more complicated just because there's a few other bits and pieces that come out, because my husband's is mainly all the food stuff. I've got some new stuff to talk about in terms of how we're organising our spending this month, and I've got all the cash ready. So let's start on the paycheck bill tracker. So I do separate ones for both my husband's income and mine, even though they come in on the same day now because I've changed jobs and we've now paid on the same day. But also we do run things out of separate accounts, and this is my easiest way of keeping track of what's in each of the individual like our personal current accounts. We are having to use a bit of overdraft this month. So we're having to use £100 of my husband's overdraft because there's been, well, we've had to pay for passports, which we've done today. Although you won't see that on this one, it just means that some of the money that will go into this side is actually coming from that. But yeah, that's what's going on at the moment. So we have had to slightly increase the amount of money that we've got, but I'm fairly confident that we might be able to save a little bit throughout the month and be able to pay that back. I just don't want to leave us short, knowing that we've had that big expense go out. So now I'm going to pop you into fast forward whilst I just write out our routine outgoings, and I'll pop a little bit of music and pop you into fast forward so you don't get bored. I think my husband's tax code's changed, so his income's gone down, which is another reason why we're having to use some of the overdraft. Yeah, so we think that he's now having to pay a little bit more tax, probably because of some of the deductions that he had in previous years. So it's not a massive amount, but it has definitely changed what he gets at the end of the month on payday. We're not funding any of the cash envelopes this month from my husband's account, but we are still doing some of the sinking funds. I don't know why I've just written sinking funds down there. That makes no sense, does it? So we've got Mother's Day and Father's Day that we just pay £2 a month into. Tickets, which £46 a month. Specifically at the moment we're saving for our Kennedy Space Centre tickets for Disney World, when we go to Disney World, sorry, when we go to Florida. So I've already paid for part of that as a deposit, but we've got to pay the rest of the balance in a couple of months' time. And school uniform, we've now started saving again for next year's school uniform, or to make sure we've got stuff there should she need new school socks or bits and pieces for school. That's £10. So that's £60, which leaves £18. Now normally I would put £25 from my husband's account into the bill saver account, but this month I'm just putting the 18 in, which we'll have to do. We have got one of the larger bills has arrived, so we need to pay that this month, but I'm going to sort that out on the next paycheck bill tracker rather than this one. So a dead simple one, my husband's, it doesn't change drastically. As I say, we've just had to fund an extra £100 from his overdraft just to cover a few bits and pieces that we weren't expecting, that we needed to do this month, and also because his salary's gone down slightly. I'm hoping that might change next month, but we'll see. At least I know now this month that we need to actually budget for it to be less, and then if it is more, well, that's a bonus. So let's have a look. We've got, these are the sinking fund envelopes, so I need to find the correct ones. There we go. There's a Father's Day and a Mother's Day, school uniform and the tickets. So let's go for tickets first. Now, because we have been spending money out of this a little bit, so I don't think there's as much in here. No, we've got £17 in at the moment. So 46, so 20, 40, I'm going to take 5 from the envelope, add it to my pile and give me 10. So that's 45, 46. Okay. And in fact, because I've got 2 10s there, I'm going to change those for a £20 note from the pile as well. Yeah. So there we go. So I've done that one. That's 46. Okay, school uniform is 10. This one should be empty because we emptied it last month. We didn't actually spend everything. There was 20 something pounds left. So you'll see that in a minute. That's been added into our little random savings envelope. So that's then ploughed back into this month's income. So there's the school uniform. Right, and then Father's Day and Mother's Day just need £2. Oops. So they've got 4 in at the moment. There goes another 2. I think I'll wait till they get up to £10 before I change them from change. Because I haven't got a huge amount of fivers this month from the bank. Same in there. There we go. And the bill saver that's here, this one that's the saving up for larger bills, that's an online payment that we make, so I'll transfer that afterwards. These all come straight out of the bank account, so there's nothing that needs to be done. And that is the first paycheck bill tracker done. On to the next one. So the next one is also 13th of September 19, and my salary, and this is, I'm hoping, what I'm going to get paid most months now. Mine's sort of it should be a normal month after a few months of it being all over the place. Right, so I've written those down and I'm now going to explain them. Okay, so my salary is obvious salary. CHB is our child benefit that we get paid once every 4 weeks. I don't actually know what date it's due to arrive in my account this month, but it's an income I need to take care of, I need to account for coming in. Random savings, I'll come back to in a second. Now the bill saver transfer, so where I said that for that last one here, that's an online payment. So what we do is we transfer some money into an online savings. Well, I've just transferred £130 back out of that random savings so that we can pay for one of the large bills that has arrived this month. So when I get to it on my list, I will let you know. And for now, I'm going to pop you back into fast forward with a bit of music so you don't have to watch me writing everything out. Okay, now I've written them all down, I'll explain. So, the ones that haven't got the stars next to them are all fairly routine payments that come out each month. I have had to group 2 together just because I knew I was going to run out of space on the tracker. And what I've not included on here is the cushion. So I'm going to put in a Barclays cushion down here and a NatWest cushion. So this will just remind me to do that. Just because I hadn't got enough room within this because there's so many additional payments coming out. So the big additional payments that are coming out is the passports, which we had not set money aside for, but needed to be sorted. And they were renewals for both my husband and my daughter. So we've sent those off today. I actually think it came out probably about 166, but it's fairly similar to 165, which is what I'd sort of budgeted at. The next thing is that school have asked for a deposit for my daughter to join in with the Duke of Edinburgh scheme. So that's £30 that's got to come out this month. I'll come back to the spends in a minute. And the first port is a house, something to do with the leasehold or the management company or something. We're never quite sure what these payments are for, but never mind. It's a requirement. So I think that's once every 6 months. That's £129. So that is being directly balanced off with that information that's that money that's coming from the bill saver account. So they're balancing each other out. Now the spends is actually that we were paid yesterday, really tired, and I went home via a takeaway. So I spent £32 in Nando's on the way home last night. So it's money that has to be accounted for, that didn't actually even make it into being taken out as cash to be spent. Whereas in addition to that, today we've been out, we've had a lovely brunch, and because it's actually our wedding anniversary, so that was why we were treating ourselves to a brunch today, and we've done a food shop. So, but that's come out of the cash that we've taken out, whereas the £32 came out of my bank account before I even got round to taking the money out. Right, so this is the bit that gets more exciting in terms of our envelopes, and this is where there's something slightly different going on this month. So I'm going to pop down that first, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I'm going to go fun, family, and fun for V, and I'll explain that in a minute. Car, Maya, and I don't think I've got room, so we'll go house and miscellaneous because I know it's an equal split for those, so that's 50 each. Maya is only getting 20 because this is like why I put money aside for Maya, is when we need additional payments. So that Duke of Edinburgh payment is coming out of that money because I didn't have suddenly £30 extra. So she's going to get slightly less treats this month, and I just hope she doesn't need anything else as an emergency. So in terms of fun family and fun Vin, the husband, he's actually getting a whole £190 because he's got loads of events on this month. It's a really expensive month, which is not good, especially not having had to pay for the passports and everything else. It's just one of those things. So yeah, it's just one of those things. He agreed to, and they all seem to have fallen within the same pay day. To be honest, he didn't go out at all last month. I did, he didn't, but I didn't go out and spend £190. Anyway, hopefully he won't spend all of that. We'll have some money left to put into our Disney fund at the end of the month. Right, and food, I'm actually going to put, it's a random amount, but 268. As I've said before in these videos, I do work this all out beforehand. I'm not just doing it off the top of my head and just plucking random numbers out. This is quite a few hours worth of fiddling around, shunting money here, there and everywhere and trying to work out the best way of doing it. But normally we spend around, well, I normally budget to spend £600 on food. We normally spend more than that, but that's my idea. And as I've changed work, what they do is they offer a reward scheme where you can pre-buy, or you can buy like a gift card and you get discount. So what I've got are these things here. So these are food card Tesco, and I put £100 on that one, and the same for the Asda one. These have arrived today, so I need to activate them. So although the £100 has gone from my bank account for each of those, it's not actually on this card yet, and we've just come back from shopping at Asda, but I hadn't got the card at that point. So they'll be ready to use from Monday. So Sainsbury's, I've put £50 on because we do use Sainsbury's. It's the most local one. It tends to be for bits and pieces rather than the main shops. The main shops we tend to do either Tesco's or Asda. And the same for Marks and Spencer's, although that might actually be slightly more of a fun treat. I tend to go and have like a tea with my daughter sometimes. That happens. We'll see how we get on with these. I suspect that the Asda one will prove to be useful. So even though there's £300 on those 4 cards, actually it's only cost me 280 something. It was 286 I think has come out of my bank account. So I'm budgeting for all of it. Any extra that's in my bank account will actually eventually work towards my cushion, and hopefully be paying back a little bit of overdraft. And if it works having these, I'll put more money on and have less cash. That's me trying it. Who knows whether it'll work, but I figured, you know what, even if it's only saving me a few pounds here and there, it's better than nothing. I have done it previously, and I've got a Costa card. There was a really generous discount on that though. That was like a 20% off or something. So I signed up to that last month, and I've used it a couple of times just for a little bit of fun. What I need to do is work out a card, maybe have an index card to go with each of these, so that when we spend it, we know how much we've spent and we're still tracking what we're spending our money on in the same way. So I'm not quite sure whether to do an expense tracker for them or not. I'll see how we get on. But the intention is that these will sit in the food envelope just alongside the cash. So when we know we're going out shopping, we know which shop we're going to, we'll take the card and use that first, because I can always put more money onto it if I find that we are using those better. So I think that's explained all of those envelopes and why there's something a bit different going on this month. In terms of my husband's spends for fun, I've actually made a completely new envelope for that as well, so that they don't get missed, to make sure that when we get to, because they're spread out throughout the month, so when we get to them, we don't end up with, oh, there isn't enough money in the fund for him to go and be able to afford what he needs to be able to afford. Okay, sinking funds. I had really hoped to put more into Disney this month, but yeah, just isn't going to happen, and the passports are important and required, so never mind. But we're still going to do our normal sinking fund amounts, which is a £5 for me and the hubby, £10 for the child. This is for birthdays. Mum and Dad each get £4. Okay, and I'll pop some money into Christmas, and it may be that what happens when we get to paying the next instalment on the holiday, we may have to take it out of Christmas. And we had said Christmas this year was going to be mainly paying for Disney and not actually paying for presents, but we'll see. But I am still going to put an extra payment against my next account, which is trying to pay off that balance. So that will be 42, so that'll be 72 in total going to next this month. And as I said before, we've got the cushion, so I'm only leaving a £7.50 cushion, which is a weird amount, I know, but it's how it works. And we've got 22 on my NatWest cushion. So going towards those bills, and I know sensible people will turn around and go, you've just taken the money out and now you're putting it back in, but there you go, it's the way it works. It's the way my brain works anyway. And then this is something new. and we're just putting £5 into it, but I'll explain that one as well in a minute, and that leaves us with 0. Okay, so Starling. Starling is a bank account, and I've signed up online, and it comes with a card, and that is how we are putting some money towards Disney. It's apparently the best that you can use for purchasing stuff abroad, because they don't charge any fees. So it's an exchange rate change like normal, but it acts like a normal card, debit card. So we're putting the money into the account, just a bit here and there. I actually have boosted it quite a lot in the last month when I joined up to it, because I sold some craft supplies. So when I got my PayPal through, I transferred it, not all of it, because some of it had to pay for the postage, etc. But most of the profit, if you can call it profit when you've spent more than the amount that you've sold it for in the first place, but never mind, they've been used and loved. But yeah, I managed to put the money, once I'd taken off the postage costs, straight back into Starling, so I wasn't then going to waste that additional cash that we'd got in. So yeah, my intention is, I've got a few things that I need to put on eBay, and I'm hoping to do the same with those. So again, it's that creating additional income, but having a purpose for it immediately, rather than it just getting whittled away into normal stuff. So next, I think it's cash envelope stuffing, and this is the big one. So this is the bit most people look forward to. Bear with whilst I get everything ready. Okay, so let's start with food, and I'm going to actually I'm not going to pop those in because I need to activate them, but 268 needs to go into food. 40, 60, 100, 20, 40, 60, 200, 20, 40, 60, 4. Now that needs to go into food, except we spent some money. So actually, we went to Asda and we spent £50. So 268 is what that should say, and we spent £50. That's 218, and that was on an Asda food shop. So let's take 50 away. So 218, let's just check. 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 20, 40, 60, 80, 200, 10, 18. Okay. So I hope that made sense to people, because we had already spent the money. As much as I counted out the amount originally, because we'd already spent that £50, I needed to take that out. So there we go. So that's food. Done. Obviously, I've then got my 4 cards that I'll also add into there, but I just need to do the activation, which I can't do at the moment because I need to do it on my phone, and my phone is what's recording. So next up is fun. So I've got 2 fun envelopes, fun and bin fun. So let's go with fun for the family, which is 120. So 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 120. Okay, that makes sense. Except for this morning we had brunch at Dorado Lounge for our anniversary, and that cost £38. So that should be 82 that's left. So 40 back and £2. So again, because we've taken the money out, it's fine. Got that. Did I explain about random savings? Did I ever come back to that? I'll explain that in a minute, because I've just realised some of this cash, and the reason why I've got a load of pound coins and things is from the random savings. So that's fun. So, random savings. Okay, I sort of set myself a little challenge to try and not spend as much money this month in a couple of categories. And what I'd do is on a Friday night, I would take out either £20 or £10 from one of the envelopes and squirrel it away into the random savings envelope. I don't know if that's focused. There you go. Into the random savings envelope. Sometimes as well, I wasn't doing a very good job of tracking some of the spending, so I would guesstimate and then I'd end up with a little bit of extra cash, which is why I'd got coins. Plus, I didn't spend everything on my daughter's school uniform this year, so there's £20 odd left of that. That went into random savings, so that's just to explain that £118 income from random savings. That's what that is. I'm hoping to do a similar thing this month, and if I can just take out £10 every Friday, that's perfect. Even if it's only £40, that's an extra £40 that I wasn't expecting, that I thought I was going to spend. So that's, sorry, just digressed. But that's what that was about. So, have I caught up on everything? I think so. Right, Vin Fun is 190. So 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 120, 140, 160, 180, 190. Okay, and we haven't spent any of that, so nothing needs to be altered on that one. Radio. Car. Okay, car is 60. We haven't spent any of that, so that's just 60 straight into there. I'm feeling this isn't going to quite balance, but we'll see what happens. So I've not spent anything on that, so there's no adjustment. I've just realised I need to, I won't turn those off until I've actually activated them, just to remind myself I need to do it. Okay, Maya needs a £20. Okay, £20, not spent any of it, that goes up to the side. House is 50, 20, 40, 50. Miscellaneous would be 50, 20, 40, 50. Okay. Okay, so that's all of those. Right, now we need to go for Disney, Christmas, my birthday, Mum's birthday, Dad's birthday, Vin's birthday, my birthday. Right, okay, that's all of those. So let's go for Maya's birthday is 10. So we actually have 20 in there. So what I'm going to do is put those back there and go for 30 now. Okay. Into Maya's birthday. Vin's birthday gets a £5. So we have 15. I'm going to take those out and put a 20 in. Okay. Dad's birthday is 4. Ooh, we've got quite a lot in here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And we're going to put, that's 12. So let's just go for £2 coins and a £10 note. Stop them from being too bulky. Don't mind having extra change left over at the end, and I will explain why it's not going to balance out at the end. Mum's birthday should be the same as Dad's, so we should have 8 in here, which we do. So if we go for 2 and a 10, that's 12. My birthday is £5. So there's £5 there, so it's 10. Oh, hang on a minute. There's 15 there, sorry. So 15. Let's just Just make sure I'm ticking these off so I know where I'm up to since I did them out of order. We'll come to Disney last. Christmas 80. And this one's empty. And it's empty because all the money last month was into the Disney payment. At least we've got £80 there. It's like a start on Christmas again. For the third time we've started on that one. And the last one is Disney, which is also empty. But it should be 168. So 20, 40, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 120, 140, 160. That's wrong, Catherine. Think about what you're doing. 20, 40, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 1, 2, 3, 4, 68, 68. I'm going to recount that again because I'm not convinced I did that right. I wasn't concentrating. 20, 40, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 110, 120, 130, 140, 150, 165, 8. There we go. Okay. Right, so that's all the envelopes stuffed, ready for this month. So those ones will go into, with the ones that I stuffed from my husband's account, into the safe. And these ones are our spending envelopes for this month. Just need to add in the food cards. So I always just give these a little bit of a clip together to get them nice and together. And there's the food cards. And then I have money left over. So why do I have money left over? All my numbers added up, etc. And I took off the stuff that I spent. Well, whilst we were out, my daughter gave me some cash and I bought something online for her. So this money needs to now go back into my account. But there was no way on earth I was readjusting this. It was already confusing enough with all this additional stuff. But yeah. So what I do is I keep in my purse, which I haven't got to hand, a little envelope that's just money that needs to go back in where I've made an online payment and I need to normally take the cash out. But this is actually money that came from the child and now needs to go back into the bank that I took loads of money out of this morning. But never mind, this is how these things work. You have to be flexible. So that's the reason why I've got loads of change here. What I might do is do a little bit of a change up of one of the envelopes so that it's got change in and I can put the notes into my purse instead, because that'll make it a little bit easier to put it in the bank. Anyway, I think that's me done. So, I've sorted out what I'm spending all the money on this month. We know it's going to be a little bit tight. We know we're having to use a bit of overdraft. I'll just grab my other one here. In order to do so. So we need to come up with some way of gaining an extra £100 in income this month, which really does motivate me to start sorting out eBay stuff. And instead of maybe put it onto the Starling account for Disney, maybe this time it actually just has to go and pay off an overdraft. Maybe that's what we need to do. Or maybe we need to do it to the car boot, try and sell the bike that's in the garage. There's a few things that need to be done in order to make some more income, especially if this is the salary my husband's now going to get. But, you know, we have had some additional, quite pricey payments to make this month. So, we'll see how we get on. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. If you did, please do give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you want to see more. The much anticipated debt video is nearly edited and hopefully will be up really shortly. I'm sorry, it's just taken me forever. new job, crazy lives, etc, etc. Just never got around to doing it. So hopefully I might get that finished this weekend. Can't promise, but that's the aim. Let's see what happens. So until next time, it's been Catherine at Budgeting My Way, and I hope you enjoyed. Bye!